Welcome to DAX Machina. Join us as we explore the mysteries of this world. Cryptids, monsters, macabre tales, and horror stories abound. Could they be true? Are monsters real?
Good evening, folks, and thank you for joining us on another. What am I picking up a back blast there? Holy crap.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was. Like it just suddenly, like a big echo. Folks, thank you guys for joining us on another edition of DAX Machina. We are going to probably be bumping around a little bit of technical issues. I had some issues getting stuff uploaded, ready to roll. So if you notice some glitches, kind of bear with us. We're trying to get everything figured out, hammered out straight. Joining me tonight is Robbie Rip Rains and Carrie Pocket Doc Davis of Dark Angel Medical. Boys, how the hell are you guys doing tonight?
Go ahead, Doc.
Wyatt, I am rolling.
Hell yeah.
Waiting for him to make his big speech, and he says, I'm all right.
I'm tired. I've been teaching all day.
I've been working all day, so I'm right there with you. I'm tired, too.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say I've had a busy, productive day, but I'd be a lie. I haven't done jack shit today. Did a little writing. Other than that, that's about it. How's everybody in the audience doing tonight? Josh Dalton says, Doc, your theme song is on the road again. Spy in the Sky says, hi from Oklahoma. And we have got quite the crowd already bumping in. Holy moly. Whew. Trying to keep up with some of the comments.
Yeah, they're moving fast.
Yeah, they are moving fast tonight. I think they. I don't even see if it's showing how many we got in the chat. I'm not locating it.
75 is what it's showing on the.
Nice. Well, that's off to a quick start.
Nope.
So, folks, we're going to have an interesting show for you tonight. I'm sure we've mentioned this at some point in the past, but we really haven't gone into a great deal of detail. The Montauk Monster is something that has been popping around for a while, and it's something that just really kind of freaked me out the first time and of course, you've heard so many people that say it was a raccoon or a dog or this or that and the other. But I don't buy that. I mean, especially considering some of the circumstances. But this one's a really bizarre one. And when you look at the close proximity of Plum Island, which Plum Island is a research facility that's literally just across the bay. This one's a creepy one. And I've been looking forward to digging into this one. Robbie, Doc, what about you boys?
This is one of those that, I've heard of it, but kind of like you, I've never really dug into it. So I'm kind of excited to kind of get into one that we've not really kind of sunk our teeth in, so to speak. So.
Let me see if I can.
Doc, I don't know about it.
I don't know nothing. Doc don't know nothing about nothing.
It looks kind of. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, it's a raccoon," and other people were like, "No, totally not." So
no, it's definitely not a raccoon. Well, I'm not going to put up a whole lot of pictures. This is probably the only one I'm really going to show because we're starting to set the shows up where we can send them over to the podcast network over on Podbean and Spreaker, and those are just pure podcasts. So we're not going to be showing a lot of pictures in some of these, but we certainly will be descriptive. This is one of the creatures that washed up on shore. If you look at the skull, it looks kind of like it's got a beak, but at the same time, that could be where the nose and the cartilage had come away. Some people said it was a gigantic rodent, but the teeth are wrong for a rodent. Some people claimed it was a raccoon, that the skin had sloughed off because of the salt water, but the appendages don't match up to a raccoon. The lengths of the legs and everything. The thing is nobody really knew what that was, and then it disappeared. It was discovered by 4 women walking along the beach, just looking for a place to hang out on the beach that day, in Montauk, New York. And when they discovered it, of course, they took some pictures of it and they called the authorities, and Lo and behold, nobody knows what happened to the body. However, right across the bay is Plum Island. And Plum Island is one of those facilities that's like U.S. AMRID or Dugway Proving Grounds. It is where a lot of chemical warfare stuff is designed and tested. In fact, there may actually be a link from Plum Island to some of the Nazi scientists who were brought to the United States under Operation Paperclip.
And I may be pulling this out of nothing, but it seems to me like Montauk at some point was also tied into to the original Jaws storyline from the Jersey Shore. There was some kind of mention of Montauk in that somehow or another, if I remember correctly. Like either that was where one of the attacks may have started, or that might have been close to where they actually caught the juvenile great white, and so that place has got a lot of critter history.
Yeah, it does, and it's really a bizarre place. But it's like a vacation destination. A lot of folks with money. It's not far from Martha's Vineyard and places like that. All those places like on northern New York and Massachusetts and all that. There's a lot of folks with money up there, and I think that's part of why the mystique of this popped up the way it did, because you want something to get media attention. Let it happen to rich folks. Robbie or I could get hit by a car tomorrow and it wouldn't make the local news, but some guy that's worth $28 million gets hit by a car and it's coast to coast news.
Yeah, or somebody pretty like Doc.
Yeah, Doc would have to get hit by one of those Hot Wheels cars.
Hit me with one of them little smart cars or something.
Like a kid in the Power Wheels runs over Doc.
The little tykes go Flintstoning, man. Get after it.
That's what we need to get Doc. We need to get him one of those little tykes Humvees.
That's ugly. That's just ugly. That's just nasty.
Yeah, we love you though. We love you though.
I know.
So with that thing, in mind, with the image of that creature in mind, if that happened once, I'd say it's just something weird that just washed up on shore. But it's happened like 8 times now. Not all of them in Montauk. There's been 2 or 3 in Montauk. There were a couple farther down the beach in another city, and then there's another island called Block Island. And if you're familiar with the song "Down Easter Alexa" by Billy Joel, he talks about sailing through Block Island Sound. Well, Block Island is right there off the coast, and it's kind of in a little triangle with Montauk, Block Island, and the Plum Island Research Facility. There have been people try to get in close to Plum Island. The security there is wicked tight. There were some guys that tried to fly over in a helicopter, got chased off. There were guys that tried to get in close with a boat. There was one of those fact or fiction shows that was on cable. They did. You remember the one that had Jesse the Body Ventura as the host?
Yeah.
Which was one of the odder ones, but some of the once in a while he did pretty good stuff. Like when he did the thing on Pensmore Castle here in Missouri, that was pretty interesting. Well, Jesse and his crew took a boat and tried to get to Plum Island, and they got ran off. They got chased away by a couple pursuit boats.
Yeah, that ain't weird at all. Well, then
and
you got
people
that Block Island Monster. That was in 1996 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So they've been finding weird creatures. They've been finding weird creatures washing up on shores around there. And U.S. AMRID, if you guys know, well, I'm sure Doc knows more about U.S. AMRID than Robbie. Robbie, not being in the military, probably hasn't been exposed to U.S. AMRID. U.S. AMRID is the Army's facility. Basically, that is the clearinghouse for chemical weapons. That's where most of them are made and or stored. It's one of those places that if you don't have clearance to be there, they won't even let you on the damn post. It is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like if you're a veteran, you can cruise up to Fort Leonard Wood, show your ID, and go on and use post PX and stuff. AMRID's not that way.
Yeah,
you're fixing to get turned away.
If
And
you ever
probably
watched that
took away
movie,
at gunpoint.
yeah, and if you ever watched that movie Outbreak, that was based at USAMRID at Fort Detrick, Maryland. I had a couple of folks in my flight school class when I was in the Air Force that were they were medical folks from USAMRID. So yeah.
Hike with Mike says old military bunker was where Hither Hills State Park in Montauk is. Huh. Didn't know that.
All kinds of weirdness.
Yeah, Penny Van says the island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah, they refer to it as the island of Dr. Moreau because they do all kinds of weird experiments. Let me see if I can find the name of that scientist. Hold on. Trying to find his name. Yeah, his name was Eric Traub. He was a German scientist who specialized in chemical and biological warfare. That the Nazis were doing all kinds of weird experiments to try to use it against their enemies. At the end of the war, when basically the Third Reich fell, Russia and the United States and even England started grabbing up Nazi scientists, offering them full pardons in exchange for coming to work for us. Well, Eric Traub, he had an island off the coast of Germany that was very, very similar to Plum Island, where he was doing research on how to spread disease into enemy forces with ticks. Oddly enough, it was near Montauk where Lyme disease was first reported.
And
Lyme disease is one of those diseases that mimics other diseases. It's very difficult to diagnose.
Convenient, no?
No kidding. And now they're finding cases of Lyme disease in Canada. They're thinking the ticks were carried there by birds.
Well, yeah.
But go ahead, Robbie.
I was just, we've seen all these movies where all these crazy things like the Island of Dr. Moreau and all these things, and Hellboy comes to mind. The things that were being done in that movie, and it's all fantastical and all that stuff. But people forget the Nazis were really out there trying to do this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they were into some sketchy shit.
Well, look at some of the stuff that Joseph Mengele did. I mean, he was experimenting on not only captured soldiers, but on Jewish people from the internment camps. He did some horrendous experiments on people.
I mean,
sick.
That thing washes up on shore looking like. I mean, nobody has any idea of the scope and the breadth of these experiments and these things that they did, and they were actually looking for the Spear of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Because they believed that whoever had that could not be defeated in battle. So Hitler had people. I mean,
as much as we enjoy Indiana Jones, they were looking for the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, exactly.
They were looking for any artifact they thought would give them the edge.
Yeah, back towards the end of the war when they were like, man, we're getting our asses handed to us. They got really deep into the occult and mysticism and everything like that to try to find some spiritual way to win the war. Yeah,
right. And they formed a group called the Deutsches Ahnenerbe, and the Deutsches Ahnenerbe, the German. I can't remember what Ahnenerbe stands for. My German is really rusty, but they were put together by Himmler himself to do just that: to go find artifacts and dig up religious texts and look for magic items, and that's what they did. And that group that Indiana Jones dealt with was based on the Ahnenerbe. And it's believed that the Ahnenerbe didn't really get captured, that most of the members of the Ahnenerbe just disappeared.
Well, there's even kind of a mention of that in which Marvel movie was it where they were looking for? I think it was think it was Captain America, the first Captain America, when they started talking about Hydra, and he was in it, and he was talking about all the other, you know, he said the Fuhrer digs for trinkets in the desert. That he was talking about those.
That was a nod.
Yeah.
William Nighthawk says the Spear of Destiny is in the United States. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, to be honest, I really wouldn't be surprised at all. But you know, the weird thing about this Plum Island, all these experiments, is it's bizarre enough that there have been multiple weird animals, mutated animals, washed up on shore. But there've also been a couple of bodies, one female, one male. Both were quickly grabbed up by the government, and no autopsy details were ever released or identities. The female they didn't release the cause of death. She was found on the beach, partially clothed on the shores of Plum Island. The male was the description was he was an African American male with unusually long fingers. That was a direct quote. Unusually long fingers, which to me sounds really bizarre. But this is the one they did release the cause of death. Do you guys know what trepanation is?
I've heard that word, but
where they bore holes. Yeah, he had multiple holes bored into his skull.
That's not weird at all.
No, not weird at all. Yeah. Who hasn't had multiple holes drilled into their skull over the course of an afternoon? You know, you're sitting around having a couple beers with your buddies, like, hey, I got a power drill. Hold still.
Maybe it was Halloween and he was dressing up as a bowling ball.
Yeah, that's flipping bizarre.
But in addition to the multiple holes in the skull, it looked like according to the EKGs, not EKGs, the X-rays and post-mortem that they did release on him, it looked like he had multiple intrusions into his brain.
And they never identified this cat.
No identity was ever released. But I keep going back down then saying he had unusually long fingers.
That's weird.
And
was this some sort of hybrid?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's and even if they did know who it was, do you honestly think they'd identify him or let it out who he was? Or
of course not. Of course not. Well, the U.S. government's got a long history of doing experiments on our own people without their permission. MK Ultra, they were exposing people to PCP, and it was driving people crazy. During right after World War II, when they were still doing all the nuclear secrets, how many soldiers were marched out into the Nevada desert to be exposed to radiation?
Mm-hmm.
Nevada and White Sands Proving Grounds. They were put in nearby proximity to nuclear detonations just so they could study. Right after World War II, there were, I think, all told, over the course of a few years, there were 40 plus U.S. Navy ships where they were exposed to chemical warfare just to see what would happen to everybody on board. And of course, you get the Tuskegee experiments where they were purposefully exposing people to syphilis, namely African Americans, but that's who they were targeting. Our government has a long and sordid history of experimenting on people without their permission or even their knowledge. Henry White Jr. says all the ships around Bikini Island. Exactly. Yep. They put some of those ships in close just to see what would happen.
Nope.
Henry White Jr. says, no, it bounced up. Sorry. Werewolf 5674 says they use GIs for drug testing. That is a fact. And I know that for personal experience because when I blew my knee apart in the Army, they field tested an experimental drug on me called Telectin that they pulled from the market. I did not like it. Didn't have a good effect with it.
I remember that stuff. Yeah.
It was not good. Thad Brown says, look what they've sprayed in our atmosphere on civilians. Yeah. So what was wrong with these people? what's Plum Island covering? And even today, even though they're talking about closing Plum Island and moving it, it's still got tighter security than some maximum security prisons. I mean, multiple layers of security, armed patrols, helicopters, boats on the water. You cannot get close to that Plum Island facility without getting ran off.
So if they closed it, why do they still have that high security?
No, they're scheduling to close it. Supposedly they're supposed to close it sometime this year. Guess where they're planning on reopening it? Kansas.
Somebody said Kansas in here in the chat earlier. Yeah, they were talking about moving to Kansas.
Yeah. Where they can expose massive amounts of livestock to whatever it is they're doing.
Hey, Toto, we ain't in Kansas no more.
I mean, even at Plum Island, at least it's separated by water. But if they build it someplace in Kansas, there's nothing separating it from everything around it.
I mean, ain't these idiots read any of your Ragnarok books?
Apparently not.
Or watched I Am Legend or some business like that?
This Plum Island stuff is no joke. The more you dig into it, the more terrifying it is. All of this, especially if there's any truth to Lyme disease escaping from there, all of this is very reminiscent of the experiments that Eric Traub did for the Nazis. They were airdropping large amounts of ticks over Russian positions, hoping to give these guys diseases. This guy never really perfected it while working for the Nazis, but look what he did for us.
I'm sorry, but if I'm somewhere and they're airdropping ticks, Doc.
Well, I don't think they told anybody that's what they were doing.
If it's raining ticks, I don't care if anybody's told me. It's time to go.
NIMSA says they plan to open more than one by 2030.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just terrifying.
How'd they make the parachutes that damn small for the ticks is what I'm wondering. I mean, that'd be tiny.
They just they take a pocket-sized medic and they dip him in the vat of ticks and they just shove him out.
Oh,
I think they can hold on real good.
That's right.
Penny Van says, any affiliation between CERN and Plum Island? Not that I found. It's a totally different type of experimentation. CERN is more with high energy physics, and Plum Island seems to be, not only are they doing genetic manipulation of some sort, they're doing primarily viral and bacterial experiments. So very different from CERN. Using I firmly believe that's where Lyme disease originated. Even now, I mean, if you get Lyme disease, it's good luck getting your doctor to actually diagnose you with that. And they say if Lyme disease hasn't responded in 30 days, it ain't gonna. If they treat it with antibiotics, you've got 30 days, basically. If they can't get it out of your system in 30 days, it ain't going away.
Interesting.
My case is look out for the shiny tick clouds.
Now we've got Asian ticks, according to Wes.
Well, we've got all kinds of weird invasive species here in the States. Makes you wonder how some of them are even getting here.
They probably dropped them around that damn balloon.
That's what it was. The balloon was just spraying ticks.
We exploded it, and all the ticks went everywhere.
Correct. That's weird. Yeah, my brother-in-law got Lyme disease and damn near killed him.
And I know Lyme disease, is a pretty nasty deal. And I don't know where all cases have been reported, but I know it hadn't been in Canada before until earlier this year.
And they almost said she got Lyme disease, and it's made her life live in hell.
I bet. William, you crack me up, brother. Karen Polson says, does Bigfoot get Lyme? I wouldn't doubt it. If they're that close where they can, potentially, have offspring with humans, then they probably get a number of human diseases. I mean, look at for example, all the diseases that Native Americans never had to deal with until our ancestors came over here. Smallpox, uh, scarlet fever. I mean, there was a number of diseases we brought that jumped to people that had never been exposed to them. So there's no antibodies in their system. I think it'd probably be the same thing with Bigfoot. If they're basically a human cousin, I'd say their immune system is going to be enough like us, like ours, that they could probably get just about any disease we can. What do y'all think?
Doc, that's you. Very technical answer, Doc.
Man, I don't know. I mean, it's just so freaking weird, man. Who knows what the hell they're doing?
Well, there are sister facilities with U.S. AMRID and Dugway Proving Grounds, and we all know kind of shit that goes on at Dugway and U.S. AMRID.
Well, and here's the thing: if they, like you said, Da, we're never going to know, unless they just, yep, sorry, we were doing it. But these are just the things we know about that we kind of suspect.
Right.
You think about the stuff that they're doing that we have no clue.
Yeah, that hasn't even come to light.
Yeah.
Hike with Mike says Lyme disease right now is only common in the Northeast and Midwest. It hasn't expanded across the states in huge numbers beyond those regions yet.
Yeah, my brother-in-law got it in Mississippi.
I've always been paranoid about it since I heard about it. When I was a kid, I was out in the woods so much. I'd come home covered in ticks all the time, and never thought one thing about it. And now, if I go out, if I'm in the backyard for more than 30 minutes, I'm checking myself for ticks when I get in the house.
What's the difference between that and the Rocky Mountain spotted fever? Because that used to be the big scare when I was a kid, was Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Oh, you get a tick on you.
Ask the pocket doc. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the first thing. I know Rocky Mountain spotted fever is a bad one. Bad one to get.
They both.
Well, I mean, think about it. When we were kids, I mean, that is all you ever heard about. If you get a tick on you, watch out, you're going to get Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And that was just like a scare tactic, almost like to keep you out of the woods, because you were just so scared that if a tick touched you, oh my God, I got Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Yeah, they're both bacterial, I guess. I know that. And other than a little bit of different in symptoms, I know they're caused by different organisms, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. I just know they are all bad. So
I don't know much about this, but about it other than basic symptoms and stuff. But Lyme disease, is that anything like meningitis?
It can. They both can cause, like, I know fever, headaches, some neurological stuff. So it can present like meningitis, like people can have like the stiff neck and headaches and crap like that, but it doesn't cause meningitis. It can kind of mimic it maybe, but that's about it. It's not. I'm not an infectious disease specialist at all, so yeah. It's not good. Northwoods
is on the scoreboard. Says, fortunately, I've survived being married to my ex without getting some kind of disease.
I was waiting on him.
Where's that? Trying to keep up with the comments. Ken Brock from Brockblade says, we used to get a tick on us. My mom would mark it on the calendar for the incubation period.
Yep.
I never thought of doing that, dude. Man, the ticks in Missouri sometimes some years are just horrible. And when I was a kid, I noticed that the years that we had the worst ticks were the years before Dad let the chickens out. When he started letting the chickens just run out all over the yard and then putting them up at night, we started having next to no ticks.
Yeah, because chickens leave them ticks. But I can remember, being in school, we go outside, you get a tick on you, and you bring it, the nurse would take and heat up a needle and touch the needle on it, have the tick back out, but then you would have to, like Ken saying, they would have to mark on the calendar to keep up with all that stuff to make sure you were. It was. I mean, we were terrified of Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I mean, that's just.
I remember when the big fear of that was out. Miss Naomi says Lyme disease can mimic almost anything. I had severe cramping throughout my body, heart palpitations, blood pressure issues, liver issues, exhaustion, bouts of severe nausea, and paralyzing headaches. Oh my God.
Yeah, that stuff is no joke.
I truly think Lyme disease is probably something that got away from that island. I think it was intended to be something that they wanted to use against enemy troops, and it got loose into our population.
Mm-hmm.
K-Talk says my son had Lyme and Bell's palsy in his face, which alerted us to it. Luckily, drugs took all the signs away in his blood. Yeah, I read somewhere that said if they put you on antibiotics for Lyme disease, if it doesn't kick it out in 30 days, it's probably not gonna.
Wow. Yeah, I had Bell's palsy 13 years ago, and it was 11 years ago. It was no joke. So,
Miss Naomi says my Lyme markers are still around 2 to 3, but they're not high enough to be treated, so I have to suffer. I'm sorry, ma'am.
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Roxanne Delgado says I had a tick, and my girlfriend got a cotton ball with Vaseline on it and made it back out, head and all. My wife, she can walk too close to the trees and get ticks on her, but I don't get them so much anymore. I used to, like I said, when I was younger, spending time out in the woods, I used to get ticks all the time. But the older I get, it seems like the less I have to deal with them. Once in a while, I'll find one crawling on me, but Annette, between ticks and mosquitoes, they like her. I mean, if there's a cloud of mosquitoes, 99% of them will land on her, and I'll swat like one or two.
Well, I mean, if that's what they were experimenting with, then it would kind of stand a reason to think about that. You know what I mean?
Well, the guy that founded Plum Island, the Nazi scientist Traub, that's what he was experimenting on, was ticks.
Right.
So
I mean, that's a great vector for delivery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great vector, just like mosquitoes and everything. So that's for sure.
Nimza says live in Australia and never had a tick. Spent a lot of time in the woods. Some people just don't get them.
Yeah, they got some kind of tick out there that if you get tagged by it, it can make you allergic to red meat.
I've heard that. God, I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, I'll just be ready to get in the box if that happens.
That tick better stay the hell away from me.
Amen.
That's right. I like chicken just fine, but I like me a good steak. Petey says, yeah, I'm tick proof. It's common knowledge they don't like pears wearing rubber bands. That's hilarious.
You're never going to live that one down.
Well, it's fairly accurate. It's why do I not wear Speedos? Because I have a respect for other people. Nobody wants to see that, including me. Miss Naomi says, I had a full course of extremely powerful antibiotic, but they told me there will probably never be a time in my Lyme markers will go completely away. Whew. Give me the heebie-jeebies thinking about that crap.
Let's go back and talk about cryptids. This is
Well, again, with the Montauk Monster, if it was just a one and done situation, yeah, I might be convinced it's just some freaking weird genetic aberration of an animal that washed up on shore. But it's happened like 7 or 8 times over the last 10, 15 years that weird animals wash up on the shore. And then you've got the 2 cases of actual bodies, of human bodies showing up. One of them looking, well, not quite human, but that, and having the holes drilled in their skull. To me, that's just that. Is it an experiment? Was it one of their experiments that got away? Was it, what was it an alien abduction? I mean, I'm not necessarily jumping on it's got to be aliens, but you know, who drills holes in people's heads like that? For what reason? They taking brain core samples?
Yeah, and I mean, even still with multiple trepanation holes, you're gonna have you gotta risk encephalitis and all that. I mean, a massive brain infection from that kind of stuff. I mean, and they just found him in the water, washed up on the beach.
Doc, you had a question. Mike A says off subject, but what's Doc advice for snake bites?
Get to the hospital as quick as you can. Period. That's it. Don't use any of those little suction things.
I think they still recommend pressure bandages, right, Doc? To kind of limit the spreading.
Nope. They American Red Cross was teaching that crap years ago, and the American Medical College of Toxicologists said, "Hold on now." They were because they were recommending the pressure mobilization technique or the pressure mobilization bandage technique like they use down in Australia. Totally different type of venom. It's a neurotoxin. Now, you can use it for a coral snake, but not for a crotalid, not for a pit viper like a rattlesnake, copperhead, or cottonmouth. Because their venom is a hemotoxin that destroys tissue. So if you did that, you would localize all that. Think of it like battery acid. All that crap in that extremity, typically that's where you get bitten, and that would make it more worser. So make it very, very devastating to the tissues.
Werewolf says, were they drilled, or did something eat into his head? They were described as drill holes. I guess they were perfect diameter, perfectly circular. Robert D says, can mosquitoes spread COVID-19? Doc, that's a question for you, not for me.
I don't know. I ain't an entomologist. No, I have no idea. I mean, there were. I remember when the AIDS stuff came out in the late 80s, right? And people were freaking out. Oh my God, what if it bites somebody with HIV or AIDS, and they bite somebody else? Well, they get it, and they've never proven that either. So.
Yeah, well, we know malaria spreads by ticks, but not ticks, by mosquitoes. But
malaria.
I guess it would only make sense that malaria lives where?
It lives in the gut of the mosquito. So yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So COVID doesn't live in mosquitoes. So.
Shai says, wouldn't a drill hole be similar to a bullet hole? It would, but there were no bullets recovered, and there were no exit holes. Miss Naoma says, I believe that Lyme disease is definitely meant to be a weapon. It is unique in its ability to form a sort of mucus bubble around itself inside the body, which protects it from antibiotics.
So the theory that it could have been weaponized is definitely a valid theory.
I think so. I think it is. I think it's actually far more likely that it was a weaponization that got away than it had occurred naturally.
That's bizarre. That is really.
Hey, Van says, I hope the poor man was already dead before they Swiss cheesed his head.
Yeah, that'd be a bad way to be.
Again, how long has our government been doing experiments like this anyway? I mean, we know that they, with Operation Paperclip, they snatched up all kinds of Nazi scientists. My uncle, who was stationed on USS Enterprise during Vietnam, he said, I believe it was in 1965. I want to say 63 or 65. He was stationed on Enterprise, and guys from the State Department and the FBI came on board and secured an area so they could bring Werner von Braun on board Enterprise. He said he saw von Braun with his own eyes.
Didn't you say he said something about the movie Final Countdown?
the Philadelphia experiment. He thought they were trying to duplicate it. He said the movie Final Countdown is probably based on what they were trying to do. Somebody leaked the story. He said that he said they were trying to basically cloak an aircraft carrier.
Because that had ties to Warner von Braun too, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it did.
Hey.
The little links in the chain just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Ow.
William Nighthawk just sent me a couple pictures. Let me take a look. Oops. Hang on a second, boys. Okay, I'm going to share these. This this might get us noticed by YouTube. I guess we'll see. Here's the first one, and I'll just let you guys read it. It's kind of self-explanatory. Talks about how most of these viruses have actual patents. That one doesn't come up well. Let me load the other one. Bizarre how they would patent a virus. And this one is world's top antivirus microbiologists are being killed off. By 2005, 40 were dead. Today, over 100. Many murdered. The rest died under very suspicious circumstances. It is known that they were all working on highly sensitive government-funded research projects tied to U.S. bioweapons and viral pandemics. All of these silenced whistleblowers who knew too much. Why isn't the mainstream media reporting this?
I wonder if any of those cats worked at Plum Island.
I wouldn't be surprised. And the other one shows patent numbers corresponding to AIDS, H1N1, Ebola, swine flu, BSE, Zika, SARS, and the coronavirus. There's a lot of very shady shit going on at places like US Amrid, Dugway Proving Grounds, and Plum Island. And if they legitimately are building more Plum Island type research facilities like the one in Kansas, that can be bad news for all of us.
Now, do you remember when all the AIDS epidemic hit Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the timeline with that, the correlation with that? The UN campaign for getting all of those countries vaccinated?
That's right. I hadn't thought about that.
That's queer, ain't it?
I had not thought. That is a little bizarre.
That's mighty peculiar. That's plumb
Things
interesting,
that make
Doc.
you go, huh?
That's just plumb interesting.
Plum.
Things that make you scratch your chin
Plum
and go,
Island interesting, isn't it?
Plum Island interesting. That's right.
Plum Island
Plum
interesting.
Yeah. So just HIV has also gone up 500% in the military. Because did you hear what they just said the other day? What the biologist said? On the vaccine, they had put HIV protein strands in the vaccination.
Well,
yep.
We know it's not as deadly as they used to make it out to be. Because how long's Magic Johnson had it? And he's healthier than I am. He's healthier than I am.
There are people that have beaten it.
Well, he's definitely one of them.
Well, I mean, they take these antivirals and their viral load is so low that even on a standard ELISA screen test, it won't even show up. Their viral load doesn't register, so they can't even transmit it.
William Nighthawk says, "Wait to see what I disclose and discuss this week. It gets real deep dive." Well, I have to make sure I definitely catch that one. let's see. Roxanne Delgado says there's an article out that talks what they did to the cold and experimented with it, which turned to COVID to Pfizer copyright of patent. Huh. Well, I know before the outbreak, the pandemic, so to speak. I know I'm just going to get demonetized for saying that, but you could look at the back of spray cans of Lysol, and it said "good against the COVID virus" already on the back of Lysol, and that was before it even hit.
Interessante.
So, Joe, because of all of this, folks, just understand that the three of us do not plan on going missing anytime soon.
Nope. I'm not going to tie myself to a tree and shoot myself in the back of the head twice.
Clinton style. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Papa Bear, he says, I'm pretty sure when I got the big C, got into my body, saw the junk the military put in me, powered with nicotine, caffeine, and hate. God dang it. Let's click on something else. Shade Viking says, I do know this. Also, there's some people that have natural immunity to AIDS, and their immune system can just defeat it, like the flu. And it said to you, it's usually Caucasians that are testing this now. There's always, no matter what disease it is, there's some people that, for whatever reason, just have a natural immunity to it. And that's how a lot of vaccines were actually come up with, is they would find people that just, for whatever reason, their system just shrugged off whatever disease hit them, and it went on like it was nothing, no big deal. But down through history, that's happened a number of times.
But as much as there's, like we say all the time, movies and TV shows that make that make light of this or make reference to it, or however you want to spin it, there's a lot of this shady stuff that if the majority of the population knew what was going on, you think this country rided over some of this stuff we've rided over in the past? Yeah, I firmly believe that that's why we have all the stuff that we have that tries to keep us divided, is to keep us from uniting and finding out the truth of what's really going on.
Yeah, and I think if we knew a third of what our government's really been up to, there would be some heads rolling. There's crap going on now, and I'm not trying to get political here. There's crap going on now on both sides of the political fence. People should be held accountable and arrested for treason.
Well, it's kind of hard when you start talking about the topic we're talking about tonight. It's kind of hard to not venture into the political landscape, somewhat at least. But like you've said, we've all said, it's not. You can't lay this at the feet of one party or the other. You can lay this at the feet of politicians, period. Because
that have been paid to look away while big corporations in the mill and certain corporations have basically just done what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, because for the last 60 plus years, probably more than that, but at least 60 plus years, what's good for the American population has not been what has been sought after in politics.
When was the last time an elected official actually voted the way their constituents wanted them to? And I'm not picking a political party here. This is pretty much anybody. Most of these guys get elected and immediately they're in the back pocket of one of these companies. But either it's election campaign contributions or just out and out lobbyists, giving them gifts underneath the table. Senators and congressmen are bought and paid for. They don't vote for their people that they represent.
Is you is or is you ain't my constituency.
That's right.
It's Homer. It's Homer.
Damn, boys, we in a tight spot. So the thing about Plum Island, man, and the Montauk Monster, as they call it, the island of Dr. Moreau, has there been any kind of solid concrete evidence other than what you were just talking about the bacterial, the chem bio warfare stuff going on there, or and
they've admitted that they've done stuff like that. I mean, they've admitted that was part of their purview. Supposedly all kinds of animal experimentation going on there. I mean, security. The people that work there are basically treated like Area 51. They're not allowed to commute there. They're picked up and brought in and then taken out.
Well, do you think there's any kind of do you think it could be a Area 51 offshoot too, dealing with any kind of alien stuff, extraterrestrial stuff? Just curious.
These are the sites we know of. How many black sites are out there we don't know of?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little tough to hide Plum Island. Yeah, exactly. It's a little tough to hide Plum Island because it's right out there in plain view, right next to a major population center. What about these? And William will back me up on this, and I'm sure Doc has heard a lot about these as well. What they call the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. There are a lot of underground facilities in this country that we just aren't cleared to know about. My brother used to drive truck, and he said there's a big one under Chicago he wasn't allowed to go to. He would make deliveries there, get out of his truck. They'd take the truck and go in, take it down an elevator. He said the elevator was big enough for a couple semis side by side to pull onto. He said they'd pull the truck in, the truck would disappear, and he would come back unloaded about an hour later, and he'd be on his way.
Well, think about this. What area of this hunk of ground that we live on has not been explored more than anything else? If you're going to hide something in plain sight, where is a good place to hide it that unless you're in the military on a submarine, you're not going to see it? Where could you get away with experimenting on just about anything you want to experiment on? And how many times have we heard people talk about underwater bases and things like that? We've never even really touched on something like that, but we've seen all these. Now that you got these UFOs are not really flying; they're swimming objects. What in the world could be going on under the USOs that we don't know about?
Yeah.
I mean, because what if fairies coming out? What if they had some sort of secret underground lair, undersea lair,
because there's always people are always going and looking for Area 51. They're always out looking for this stuff. Well, anybody, the three of us, if we wanted to, we could go out wandering around in the desert looking for Area 51 if we wanted to. It's theirs. Could the three of us get an expedition together to go look for things underneath the ocean? No. So if you wanted to really get,
and like you said,
it would take a lot of money to be able to do any kind of deep research.
Yeah. And like you said, Robbie, it's what you see is on top of the ground. You might not see the 10 or 12 stories underground.
Mm-hmm.
We might let this little innocuous cinder block building.
Yeah, but what you can see there, that's Area 51. Everybody wants to go find that, but what's under the ground, what's under the ocean, they can't nobody see. And unless you're in one of these agencies that actually, monitors the satellite feed that shows that you can actually see this stuff on, you're not gonna know it's there. you got an undersea base out in international water. There's no law. They can do whatever they want to do, and they can't.
Yeah,
Anybody
basically.
stop them. So, I don't think we've ever kind of touched on that, but that's kind of interesting when we start talking about islands, and they're actually got it. So if they get an island, what's to stop them from having? Because you get down what?
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good question. Good comment. What would stop them? I mean, if they've got an entire continent that's basically a frozen wasteland, they don't have to worry about a virus getting very far away.
Yep.
Most viruses can't survive at that cold. Shy Dorsai says there are some sources that claim the underground bases and tunnels were constructed from funding hidden in the Vietnam War budget. That doesn't surprise me. We've got a super chat from Laura Sims. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Laura.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I have to retire.
Curiouser and curious.
My first beverage.
Beverage. But
fortunately, I brought a couple of spares for just such emergencies.
I love that sound.
Arlie says, in California, Highway 5, there are small white one-story buildings with no windows, just a door. Now, what the heck are those being used for? They're probably covering the entrance to something.
Ooh, Toshi the Wolf has a good comment too.
Kind of curious if those underground bunkers are next to those underground cave systems. It makes them have to dig a whole lot less if they used existing cave systems. I know the Springfield Underground. I used to work security down there. That facility is huge, and there's more down there than just food. They're constantly expanding those tunnels. I haven't been back in them in probably, God, it's probably been 20 years since I've been down in those tunnels, and they were massive then. And they dig almost constantly. I mean, on at least a couple of days a week, you can feel the ground shake when they're blasting out. Rumor is that there's more than one level, and I was only ever on one level. Lurks a lot says Elon Musk owns a boring company that is contracted to the government. What's he boring for them? That's a good question. Arlie says one road leads to them off the highway. If there's little buildings that have no doors, no windows, and has a door and no windows that has a little road leading to them, I would be willing to bet that's probably an access point for an underground missile base. Because a lot of those, like there's a lot of Minuteman silos along the U.S.-Kansas, the Missouri-Kansas border, and most of them you could drive by it and never know it's there. There's a couple just out not far from Springfield. You can tell what they are once you realize what you're looking at. But if you're just driving by, it just looks like a little chain link area with a little white nondescript building. I didn't know what they were until a buddy of mine who was a missile crewman in the Air Force. We were driving together, going out to a shooting range, and he's like, "That's a missile silo." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? There are no silos around here." He goes, "Bullshit, that's a silo." Like, how do you know? He goes, "Because I used to work in one just like it up near Minot." I'm like, "You're serious?" He's like, "Yeah, there's probably half a dozen of these things around here." Mike A. He says, "DA heard a podcast a while back. A couple were floating in the Missouri River and witnessed several Bigfoot climb a bluff and enter a cave overlooking the river." Dude, I completely, 100% believe that. I believe these things have been used in caves forever. I think that's why they're so hard to find, especially if you go looking for one. They've got places they can duck into. We've postulated that the what we refer to as wood knocks aren't wood at all. That they're doing it with their mouth, and that it may be some form of echolocation. Uh, as as many caves are in Missouri, it would be absurd to even think that they're not using them. Uh, Animals are smart. They're going to use their terrain to their advantage. Um, just like if you find a big rocky overhang along a bluff side, you look back in there, something's bedded down there at some point. And it might have been a mountain lion, it might have been a bear, but animals will get out of the elements. I mean, they don't like getting wet any more than we do. Uh, so if these things are upright primates and they're, let's just say, comparable intelligence to humans, if they're anywhere in the ballpark, I mean, look how smart freaking apes are. Look how many smart chimps are. Problem solving intelligence, tool use intelligence. If they're that smart, they're using caves. Roxanne Delgado says, Mike, where along the Missouri River? Yeah, I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. Um, I'm gonna have Noah have a chat with Nightbot. I don't know what Nightbot's doing. Well, Noah's already on it, but he spotted it. He just says he forgot to fix Nightbot. And we're going to have to neuter Nightbot. Nightbot's only really effective for the channel when we're doing giveaways because the stream elements give randomizer doesn't work very well. So I'm just going to have to go in and revoke Nightbot's privileges until we need to do another giveaway. Laura Smith says, "Are any of you going to Monster Fest in Canton, Ohio, June 3rd?" I'm making my shirt right now to wear there. I didn't even know one was going on, so I would say I'm probably not going to make that one, especially since it's right about my birthday. We're probably going to go do something for my birthday. Uh, we are we're coming up on episode 200. Not only that, I mean that's episode 200 is going to fall very close to my birthday. Maybe I'll do a giveaway for that. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Doc, I can't hear you. Oh, you had a delayed voice there. Kay Bowers is absolutely right. It says, doesn't matter what conspiracy truth comes out, Robbie, some people are going to deny it all the way. Thad Brown says, have you heard about Bigfoot swimming across the Columbia River from Washington to Oregon by the Dales? I've heard lots of stories of Bigfoot swimming. Miss Naoma. Yeah, it's June 1st. I'll be an old fart. I don't know. What do you think we ought to do for the giveaway for my birthday? How about we do this? I don't know if we've got a show actually on my birthday. Let me take a look. No, my birthday's on a Thursday, but we'll do one on the 31st. How about the night before my birthday? We give away a character role in a book. Whoever wins the contest, everybody tell everybody, get in that contest, get in the chat. But we'll do the one big giveaway for my birthday. That'll be my present, and to y'all, somebody's going to get to become a character in a book. Emphasis All night party, PJ party. Probably not. I'm not much of a partier anymore.
Mm-mm.
John Crane likes the idea. Says that's a killer idea, DA. Ken says I'm down for that as long as my snow machine doesn't get violated. No promises, Ken. No promises.
Nothing is sacred.
Definitely not.
So my buddy Patrick just sent me a text, DA. He said, has anybody ever said anything of, or heard anything about the subtropolis out there near Kansas City, Missouri? That big limestone cave? It was a underground storage facility started when two brothers dug limestone for highway jobs in Kansas City. It's a massive cave. They're still digging limestone, and it gets bigger every day. I've never heard of the subtropolis.
I haven't either. Well, I know the one here in Springfield is the same thing. It started out as a limestone quarry, and now it's millions of square feet of warehouse space, including its own secured and tempested internet hub. There are backups for major companies all over Missouri that are stored down there because it's deep enough underground. It's immune to EMP or just about anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
They say that that's deep enough it could take a nuclear hit and survive.
Okay, yeah, and he just said this one's 55 million square feet.
That's a lot of square footage.
That's pretty freaking massive.
That is a lot of square footage. I don't know how many square feet the Springfield Underground is. There's another one down in Carthage. They used to use just outside Carthage, Missouri, between Carthage and Joplin. It used to be a storage facility, but for some reason they shut it down, and it's for sale. Wouldn't that be the shit to own?
That'd be pretty rad.
It's supposedly several million square feet below ground. Spy in the Sky says, I've been in the KC underground limestone with businesses in it. I would love to learn more about that place. I'm going to have to start looking that up.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Patrick called it the subtropolis.
The subtropolis.
Yeah.
Roxanne says that I think that's by Worlds of Fun. Well, I know right where that's at. I've been by Worlds of Fun lots of times. Hold on, I'm looking for something. Werewolf, I didn't get an email, buddy. If you sent me an email, I didn't get it. Let me see. Let me check Facebook. Yeah, brother. If you sent me a message, I ain't got it. Oh, and just FYI to all the winners from the show the other night, from our 5,000 giveaway, I have not had a chance to mail those out yet. I've got to wait till I get paid on the 29th, and then I'll mail them all out. I'd have to finance bubble gum right now, so we gotta wait till I get paid before I can mail everything out. So my apologies, but it'll be the 29th or the 30th before I get those all mailed out. But I've got them all set aside and ready to go.
Yeah, and if you were the one who won my stuff, then you need to shoot me an email or shoot DA an email so he can forward it to me, because I still have not got any kind of contact info, and I've got that stuff boxed up and ready to go. Just need to slap an address label on it.
Yeah, DC is the one that won yours. So I don't have an email from DC. Is it just his screen name was DC? I don't have an email from DC. I've got confirmation emails from everybody else. but I don't have one from DC that I'm seeing. So DC, if you're listening, either get a hold of Doc or get a hold of me. Mine is DARoberts at DARoberts.net. Doc's is Carrie at darkangelmedical.com. So, reach out to one of us and I'll make sure Doc gets it if you send it to me, and he'll get that sent out to you. Yeah, I worked security in the Springfield underground one, and there's military stuff down there. I know that. I've seen it. There's also, oddly enough, a reserve storage depot right above it.
That's pretty cool.
Roxanne Delgado says underground in Carthage is on Francis Street. I used to work there when it was the old Motorola that moved in there. Yeah, it's for sale now. Oh yeah, Werewolf said it was for the book. Yeah, I got that, bud. No worries. But Werewolf, check your email. I sent you an email a few minutes ago. Yeah, I got your email for the book. Derek Buckle says, "What's a reserve depot?" U.S. Army Reserves. They have a storage depot there, just with shit tons of Connex boxes full of God knows what, vehicle storage, equipment storage, and it is literally right on top of the underground. Kay Bowers wants to know if that beverage is Margolin approved. I think Margolin would approve. I truly do. Did you guys see? You guys see the picture I shared on the group on Facebook about something else? I'm pretty sure Margolin would approve. Let me find the image and I'll show it to you. I posted with the caption, "All right, who left Margolin unsupervised in the motor pool?"
Oh, I did see that. That was hilarious.
I can see that little turd doing that, and then cutting donuts on the parade field. That would it would give Sergeant Major Gideon a bad. Yeah, I'm sure. I know you would. That would give Gideon a bad case of Forrest Whitaker eye. That. He thinks the embrace the suck stuff wouldn't die, but I guarantee that wouldn't. Says, "That's my car, thanks." I would drive it. I'd drive the hell out of it, but leave it to Margolin to turn a Humvee into a rat rod. Ken says you still need a ladder to get in it, Doc.
You lying turd.
Oh, I love that. That is so funny.
Nothing but love. Nothing but love.
Well, there's one thing though, that would definitely be something that idiot Margolin would do. But I tell you something else I could see him doing is this. I ain't changing the toilet paper roll, at least not for 6 months.
That's actually genius. I like that.
It's like every Taco Bell after Taco Tuesday.
I might need that after tomorrow. We're gonna have a crawfish boil after the class, so yeah, things might get a little spicy. So yeah, gonna be fun. Get some mud bugs in me. Looking forward to that. Oh, Derek Buckles had a question. Yeah, Derek, I'm on the road again. I'm in Louisiana. It's not a bad hotel room. I usually stay at like Hampton Inn or something like that. This is a Holiday Inn. It ain't too bad. cooler down here than it was in Florida. Less humidity too. Crazy.
Hang on a second. I'm doing something.
Nobody
Give me
talked
just
once.
a moment. Give me just a moment. I'm trying to fix something.
All right, Dan.
Doc, have you ever been to U.S. Amrid?
Nope. Never have, man.
What about
Never
Dugway?
have. No, sir. Never went to any of those places. There, yeah, mud bugs equals crawdads, or crawfish, or crayfish.
One of them
Yeah,
things.
it's a mud bug. Oh, catfish po' boys are awesome.
I'm not a big seafood guy.
I am. If I see food, I'll eat it.
Me too.
Love me some seafood. Lord have mercy. I could eat my weight in boiled shrimp.
I put a hurting on some of them all-you-can-eat crab legs.
Ken Brock says Larry Carrera writes about Dugway in some of his books.
Yep, he sure does.
I haven't read Larry's books in a while. I need to read them again.
I can't
But super chat from Mike. Hey, thanks, Mike. Says gas money fun for the LBL trip.
I can't remember if he actually calls it a Gugway or not, but he does mention a lot of it. But I can't remember if he actually specifically calls it a Gugway or not.
What do you say about me fitting in a trunk? Let me put my spectacles on.
Thanks for the super chat, Mike. He says, gas money fun for the LBO trip. Surely Doc can fit in the trunk, right? Just kidding, Doc. Love all you guys.
Lord.
We'll make Doc a bed in the glove box.
There we go. Just give me a booster seat so I can look like all the big kids.
Hey, Werewolf, Werewolf 5674. If you're in the YouTube chat, take a look at you take a look at your name. Want to welcome Werewolf 5674 to the mods list. He is our newest moderator. So remember, DAX mods rock. We have the best mods in the business. So Werewolf, you got some big shoes to fill, brother.
Yes, sir.
I believe Werewolf can handle it.
I think so.
He pretty much is one anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. He's been here since God knows. I mean, I think he was. I think I hit live for the first time, and he was already waiting for it to come for us to pop up. Now back to Plum Island and stuff like that. I know we kind of got sidetracked. We tend to do that.
Sidetracked?
Sidetracked? No. Look, when I'm digging into all of this, I might have to make some references to Plum Island in some future projects because we know Clark and the boys over at the Codename Wild Hunter dealing with some folks that are part of what's called the Ouroboros Society, and that might just tie in. It might just tie in very well. Little Patty says, Doc, you near Crowley or Midland?
I don't even know where that is. I'm near Convent and Donaldsonville, south of Baton Rouge.
Red Stick. Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Laissez les bâtons rouler.
I don't speak French.
Let them good times roll, Sha.
William Bedard says,
Doc, I sent emails, changed my spear kit to an ounce plus. Did you get my email? I did not get your email, sir. If you sent it to the info page, that would be Deb that got that email. If you would resend it and courtesy copy me or carbon copy me, because I've been out of the office for the last almost 2 weeks, man. So traveling and teaching. So we'll get you squared away. Hopefully it did not get sent out before the email was seen. Yeah, send that to me as well as the info again, and I will make sure that she gets it taken care of.
Good night, Miss Lanita.
Night, Miss Lanita.
Good night, Miss Lanita.
Yeah, I was only home for not even 72 hours before I had to head back out again. Giggity.
Giggity, giggity.
Damn it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby, get that tourniquet off your neck. You're scaring Ladybird.
So, we start making a lot of these cross chains with Plum Island and other research facilities. What else do you think has escaped labs that was either intentionally escaped or was just something that slipped through the cracks?
Cryptids.
I.e. cryptids?
Dogman.
I don't know, though. As far back as some of the sightings go, I think our government's not above experimenting on them. But I don't think our government was.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think they made them, but I think they, just like anything else, they didn't make ticks either. But I think they are looking for ways to weaponize them.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if you've already got something like that in nature, and you can take what nature's already made and you can make it even deadlier.
Yeah.
More deadlier.
Deadlier.
More deadlier. No,
more dangerous.
Dude, what? Okay, if you got one of the ultimate apex predators out there, nice name for your book, DA. Y'all need to read those books if you hadn't. But if you got like the ultimate apex predator, if you can make that sucker even more deadlierist, then why wouldn't you do that? The grumpy puppy. Yeah.
Well, like take sharks. Sharks are the apex predators of the sea, with the exception of maybe like an orca. Okay.
Yeah, orcas will prey on great whites.
But if you could take a great white and you could make it as smart as an orca,
yeah,
what would you have?
Freaking laser beams on its head. Something like that. Yeah, who knows? What the government says or tells us, damn well they line up. Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Guaranteed. I
trust them about as far as I could toss a baby elephant.
I trust our government less distance than I trust a Taco Bell fart.
Yeah, I trust our government less than I trust gas station sushi. So I wonder if those fathead soldier type dog men might have escaped. They played God and went Frankenstein on them, and then either they escaped or accidentally escaped out into the wild. Could be
entirely possible,
man. Oh, little Patty Crowley. Yeah, that's close to my friend in Church Point. Okay.
Bobby, we can't hear you. You ain't making a sound, buddy. Ain't hearing the thing, man.
Damn it, Robbie.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Robbie?
Well, we can't hear you, Bubba.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? If you don't answer me when I talk to you, I'm going to put my foot. Anyway, major pain.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to back out and come back in, man.
Derek Buckle says, look at the Soviet experiment with human primate hybrids. Yeah, that was a legitimate thing they tried to do. World War II, they tried to genetically crossbreed humans with both gorillas and chimps. Ironically, they were closer to actually being able to pull it off with chimps than they are with gorillas, because chimps are a closer DNA match than we are, but it didn't work either way. Yeah, Gary Lee says, anybody who serves should know better to trust the government.
Facts.
That's a fact. I mean, it starts off, with your recruiter lying to you, and it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they're paid to lie to you.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, was it in Russia, where was it, DA, that the lady showed up? She was indigenous, and she showed up, and she was pregnant and had the baby, and it was not of human origin, and it died.
Oh, no, you're talking about the Zana story. She was supposedly a Bigfoot that was captured by the Russians, and several of the villagers apparently got her pregnant. I mean, how drunk do you got to be? How much vodka do you have to drink to go, you know what? I'm going to crawl in that cage and have sex with that Bigfoot.
Some raspberry jelly and some lipstick and a
beard trimmer.
And a beard trimmer.
I don't know if there's enough vodka in Russia to make me try that.
And yet, Robbie, talk.
Hello.
Hey, we got audio. John Crane 14 says homemade Russian vodka. Who knows what it can do? Yeah, God knows, but there better be a lot of it involved.
Ain't enough.
Yeah, I'm going to take a big old solid pass. But apparently, she had several offspring with local villagers, and they can even find traces of the DNA dating back to her in the local village. But they said that part of it's human and part of it just ain't. Mike A says we've bred hundreds of different domestic types of domestic dogs to create new crossbreeds. That's true. I mean, if all dogs trace their genetic lineage back to the first wolves that were domesticated, can you imagine the many times a great-great-great-grandfather of a wolf looking at a Chihuahua and going, what the hell? How did that come from me?
Come into the fire, they said. Have a piece of meat, they said. What could possibly go wrong?
Kind of like my great-grandfather that fought in the Spanish-American War, seeing some of my cousins with man buns. I'm sure he's got about that same feeling as that wolf looking at that Chihuahua.
Roxanne Delgado's got something. Brock, somebody knocked up. What'd he say? Damn it!
A Russian booger
wolf. Booger wolf. He kills me. Roxanne Delgado.
By Ron Susi, a werewolf type in Finland, December 1939 to March 1940. It killed 100 Russians during that time when they were at war for those 3 months. I need to look into that incident. I remember hearing about that before. There was an entire Russian unit damn near wiped out by what they claimed was a werewolf. Don Combs, that's what we used to call it all the time when I was with the department too. We called them bitch biscuits and twat knots. I'm sorry, that's bad of me. But that's what we called them. I'm just being honest.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
Nightbot. What the hell is Nightbot going on about? Leave Don Combs alone, Nightbot. I'm gonna shut Nightbot up.
Yeah, Nightbot's taking a piss tonight, man. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, folks, watch carefully because Nightbot is about to disappear. I'll have to reinstate Nightbot when I need to do a a giveaway. But Nightbot should not be chiming in anymore. I just took away Nightbot's permission.
Yeah, Nightbot needs to roll something up and smoke it, man.
Yeah, Nightbot. Somebody just take Nightbot out behind the woodshed and tan his hide.
Yeah. Jake Light said it was a combo of vodka and booger sugar.
Sugar.
I believe that. That's what I call it too, little booger sugar.
443 Big Vic, you're probably right. My dad would flip out. I mean, he'd be, Dad fought in World War II. I shudder to think at some of what my dad would say about people today. He would have lost his mind.
Yeah, my daddy would say exactly what he feels.
Why is Nightbot still talking? I shut Nightbot off.
Nightbot said, "You just thought you shut me off."
I took away Nightbot's permission. Yeah, Nightbot is. I might have to have sick no on it. Nightbot's off the chain.
Nightbot is aware.
Yeah. Nightbot's like, I don't need your stinking permission, fat boy.
Why does Nightbot sound like Adam Sandler in Hotel Transylvania? The freaking Nightbot does not need your permission.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me find Nightbot, and I'm just going to block Nightbot. And then I'll unblock him later.
It will not let you.
Where is he? Where is Nightbot?
He's hiding from you.
Well, we have totally derailed.
Yeah, we have.
Shocker.
Us derail? No.
Not that we've ever done that before. I mean,
never happened.
Totally new territory.
Us? Yeah. Well, I don't see Nightbot anywhere now.
Nimza, I saw your comment about wanting me to dance. No, Robbie doesn't dance. Sorry.
Come on, man. I'll give you $1.
Oh, I think Werewolf killed Nightbot for me. Thanks, Werewolf. And just later when I'm ready to do a giveaway, I'll unban Nightbot. Yeah, Nightbot's off the chain tonight. Werewolf says I blocked Nightbot. Okay, I'll just unblock him later when I need him. And then block him again so he doesn't pop back up. Tomb says $20 is $20.
That's good. I like that, Toombs. That's funny.
Oh, boys.
Yes, sir. Giggity.
Giggity, giggity. No, not even the hokey pokey little patty. Okay, thanks.
What'd she say? Roxanne was saying something about somebody grew up in the wild, like a wild woman.
That Zana, the
one in
Russian
Russia you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zana. Yeah. She grew up in the wild.
Huh.
They apparently when the first time she had children with the local villagers, they had to take them away from her because she would carry them down to the stream and dunk them in ice cold water to bathe them, and they was killing them. I mean, they were human babies. They were part human. They weren't equipped to survive that kind of cold. So I guess she killed a couple of them before they started taking them away from her.
And dog my cats.
I need to look something up. If you want to give me a minute to look something up. In the meantime, Doc, would you want to tell us a little bit about Dark Angel Medical while I'm looking something up?
No.
All right. Well, let me put up
Yeah.
Let me put up the.
Oh, Nightbot's back at it again.
Nightbot's back. Good God. Nightbot will not die.
I told you, Nightbot is aware.
Something's wrong with Nightbot. Nightbot will not be put down.
It is the terror that flaps in the night.
I can't believe it's still up and running after getting blocked.
Blocked. All right. What the hell? Do you want me to talk about this for a second? I can.
Yeah, go right ahead. Let me look something up while you're.
All right. Dark Angel Medical. For those of you who know about Dark Angel Medical and follow us, I appreciate it. If you purchase from us, I appreciate you as well. Y'all go over to darkangelmedical.com and check us out as far as the products we offer. We offer a wide range of personal trauma kits, anything from minor trauma first aid boo-boos to major trauma first aid. Oh my God, somebody's about to die. Kits, personal trauma kits, individual trauma kits, mass casualty kits, ruggedized trauma kits. We have quite a variety of different things you can utilize to make a difference in somebody's life or your own. Now, if you have a trauma kit, that's awesome. You want to make sure you have some good stuff in there. And, if you built your own, that's great. If you roll your own, that's great. But just make sure you have the best stuff in there. If you buy one of ours, our kits are FSA and HSA. That's your flex spending account or your health savings account eligible for purchase. And if you do use one of our kits to save your life or someone else's life, all you have to do is let us know, and we will replace what you have used 100% free of charge. It's called our Kit for Life Guarantee. If you don't know how to use a kit, then you can come to one of our in-person training sessions. Like I'm doing one down here in Louisiana this week. Just did one in Florida last week. And you can take an in-person training, or if you don't have time to do it because of your job commitment, family commitments, or like I always say, you just don't like people, you can do some online training. We have an online training course that you can take over 30 days. So that's plenty of time to get that information. It's a lot of information, but it's a lot of solid information that has made a difference in a lot of people's lives that have taken these classes from us. Kit for Life count up to now. We are now at 169. We're one away from 170. So that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of that. Yeah. So head over to darkangelmedical.com. If you ever have a question on any of our products or anything, you can shoot me an email. Check us out. We're on Instagram and Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel. This month is National Stop the Bleed Month, and we've done a series of videos on there that give you some information, some solid information. Doesn't replace a class, but it's give you some solid information. It's a good jumping off point. So head over to YouTube, check out our Dark Angel Medical channel, like and subscribe to that, and we'll be adding more videos as we carry on. Derek, what is the story on 169? It was a standby one. It was, let me look and see what Deb sent me. It was a motorcycle accident with an open fracture with an arterial bleed to the leg.
Damn.
And the responding officer was first one on the scene and had one of our kits and actually used it to tourniquet the guy's leg off and save his life. So pretty good stuff. You'll never regret not having a medical kit nor knowing how to use it. But you will definitely regret needing one and not having it. So head over to darkangelmedical.com. And if you use the coupon code that's specific to the readers, viewership only, right down here, right below Robbie, it's Cryptid25. That'll be 25% off of your order. And if you write in the order notes, Team Odin, we will throw in one of our cool little Team Odin rockers to go over your little cross patch on your kit, so you can represent the DAX Machination. And that's all I got. That's all I got to say about that.
We need to make a DAX Machination patch. Do like the DAX Machina logo with the DAX Machination on it.
That'd be pretty rad. Oh, Nimza, thank you. Lessons were fantastic. Very helpful. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, since we're taking a moment to talk about our good folks in the affiliate program, Robbie, would you like to tell us about Scallywag?
Sure thing. Scallywag Tactical is featured heavily in most, or not most all, but a good portion of DA's books. You hear him talk about them all the time. Clark carries a lot of the knives, so does the rest of the team. Another veteran-owned company. Craig makes some of probably the best knives that you will ever find. Everything from folders to fixed blades, kitchen knives, fillet knives that you put in your tackle box. Any kind of blade that you could possibly think to have, even what most people would consider a fantasy blade of the boarding axe. That's the new one right there, right? In a DA.
No, this is the Steve Reichert Spindrift.
Spindrift. Okay, I always get the Spindrift. That was it the Fathom? That's the new one, right?
Yeah, the Fathom's new.
Yeah. So just very. I've got a Dewclaw. I've got the Orca. I've got a Jolly Roger. I've got a Sailor Assisted Folder. I love my Sailor Assisted Folder. That goes with me every single day. I used to carry the Orca every day because of the serrated blade on it, but I fell in love with that Sailor Assisted Folder. Now, this stays within reach of me everywhere else in the house, and I just carry that Sailor Assisted Folder with me to work every day, and the Jolly Roger pretty much stays in my truck. So I've got one pretty much in reach no matter where I'm at. They're great knives. There comes the big S word. Doc's broadsword.
Nice.
This is a Zweihander for Doc.
That thing's hot.
That'd definitely be a two-handed sword for Doc.
Hell, I can put two hands on it.
Love
I
you,
got
Doc.
big hands.
They say big hands, big gloves.
That's correct.
But if you go over to Scallywag, they've got a thing called blemish blades, and really, honestly, the blades aren't blemished, even though they call them blemish blades. I mean, I'm sure there may be. I think D.A. said he found one that had a little small minor scratch on it, but
That was the Spindrift that I had out a minute ago. That's the only one I've got's got any blemish on it at all.
For the most part, the blemish is relegated to the boxes that they come in. Something's happened to them while they're sitting on the shipping floor, or in the warehouse or whatever, and they can't sell them as new, so they'll put them over there on the blemish blades, and you can get a very good deal on it. And then when you get you a couple of those blades, you go to checkout and you use code DA Roberts 10, get yourself an extra 10% off. It's a stacking deal. You can save a lot of money. I got that knife with shipping and everything. I think I put tell you DA $12 I think total for the knife and the shipping. And
the pocket knives, the one you were showing earlier, the Jolly Roger. Jolly Roger's a great knife. I use that as my everyday carry knife. I cut everything with that knife, and it stays wicked sharp.
Yep.
Just an absolute fantastic utility knife. But this one here that I've got open right now, this one is the Privateer. This is a different animal. Whereas you can get the Jolly Roger, you can get one on a Blemish Blades sale for $15-16. The regular about 45. This one a little closer to 150, but you can do surgery with this son of a gun. This is the sharpest pocket knife I have ever had. This thing is just incredibly wicked sharp. This is the one that I cut my wrist with that night when I was trying to shave hair off my wrist and took like 4 layers of skin with it. Yeah, it is just like surgical sharp.
Yep. They'll cut you 3 ways, Doc.
long, deep, and continuous.
And I've said this before, and Doc and DA will both agree. I'm not scared of any of my firearms because I know which way to point them things. I know what they're going to do, and they're not going to hurt me as long as I do the right thing. A good blade, you need to be scared of, and I'm scared of all these Scallywag tactical blades that I have because the show that when I was down in Florida, I was doing my little thing that I'm doing right now, and I had my Jolly Roger, and it popped up. I went to close it, and I closed it on my fingers. It fell, and it cut my finger, and I bled for like 15 minutes. Just
yeah, like I said, my oldest brothers came up and his.
When I cut myself with that privateer, it was one of those. I cut it, and I knew I'd cut it, and I could look. I was looking at it, and it didn't bleed for like 5 seconds. I was like, "Oh, that's not gonna be good," and it bled for a while.
And that's pretty much why it's one of those. Oh boy, it's hurting, but it ain't bleeding yet.
Yeah,
it's about to start.
Nimza says you should have used the Dark Angel med kit to fix it. I thought I was going to have to.
Well, see, that's that's why we double up. Scallywag Tactical. Make sure you get you a Dark Angel medical kit for when you mess up and cut your finger off.
Absolutely. And again, head over to Dark Angel Medical. Head over to Dark Angel Medical and use Cryptid25 as your discount code. And when you go to Scallywag Tactical, use discount code DARoberts10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order. And that leads me to our other affiliate. Certainly don't want to fail to mention Ken Brock, who is Brock Blades in the chat, is just an awesome guy. What do you call him? The Tactical Smurf?
The Tactical Midget.
Tactical Midget. Veteran law enforcement. He makes handmade blades, and they come with a custom Kydex sheath. This one's the Skein-Dhu, which is a Scottish term. It means black blade. This was based off of the Scottish Skein-Dhu, which is something they usually kept in their sock. It was a holdout knife. But this thing is just wicked sharp. It's made out of titanium. Ken's blades are all hand forged, one-of-a-kind pieces. No two are going to be identical. And if you're looking for a special gift for somebody that's into blades, a handcrafted blade is the way to go. Ken makes some amazing stuff. Will Gray Eagle carries one of his Ardennes, which is one of the bigger blades that he has. It's basically a Bowie knife. He just makes all these by hand. He's got his forge there at his house. Robbie's been down to it. Ken's just an awesome guy, and if you want to get a great gift for somebody in your world, your life that spends a lot of time in the outdoors as a hunter or fisherman, you want to get them a special gift. I'm telling you, nothing's going to make a bigger smile on their face than a hand forged knife. Brock blades are just absolutely top of the line, 100% great quality, beautiful blades, works of art. I mean, I'm almost afraid to use mine, but okay, well, I've been using it, but I'm not afraid to use a knife, but these are so nice. You're like, do I want to use that? But yes, I do use it. But if you want to place an order with Brock Blades, when you're checking out, make sure you mention that you heard about his show. You heard about him through our show, and he'll give you 10% off your order. So that's at brockblades.com, and I hope you guys will check him out.
He's good people.
He is good people.
Yep.
Craig is too. Craig Burkhart, the owner of Scallywag,
Yes.
just an absolute awesome guy. That guy that owns Dark Angel, he's kind of shady. We worry about him sometimes.
Yeah, that Kerry guy, he's kind of
shifty. He's kind of.
I don't know about him. He's with them short guys, you got to worry about.
He's a shifty little dude.
He is a shifty little feller. Oh, feller.
But Dark Angel Medical, Scallywag Tactical, and Brock Blades are all three businesses we're proud to be talking about. Veteran owned and law enforcement, first responder owned companies. Ken Brock's a veteran of law enforcement for since God was a corporal. Doc was a Air Force Special Forces medic. And then you've got pretty much everybody that's part of the company over at Scallywag has been in the military.
Flight medic.
What's that?
I was just a flight medic.
You were a flight medic?
Yeah.
You got seconded to the Army though, so
yeah, I did.
You did a lot of close in work. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah. I wasn't tabbed.
Doc was he was one of those ones that they just hooked to the front of the uniform and carried him in like a baby Bjorn. Yeah, he didn't have to be jump qualified because he was attached to the harness of the guy that was jump qualified.
That's right.
But we're so proud to support our veteran-owned and first responder-owned businesses. So I hope you guys will check all of them out and show them some love, and especially with Father's Day coming up, if you're wanting to get a gift for that father in your life, or husband or boyfriend, Father's Day gifts. I'm telling you, you will never see my face light up more than when getting a really good knife or something that I will use. Like, I'm guaranteed every time I go to the range, I got a Dark Angel medic. I don't leave the house without a Dark Angel medical kit. But something like that guys that spend a lot of time outdoors, that's something they're genuinely going to use. That's something they're genuinely going to appreciate. You can get dads all the ties in the world, and they're going to be like, oh, I love this tie, and then it'll hang in the closet for 20 years. But you get dad a good knife or a med kit if he does a lot of hunting or goes into the range. That's going to be something that goes with him literally every time he loads a firearm.
That is correct.
So keep those in mind. These are ideal gifts for Father's Day, for birthdays, for Christmases, for any occasion. To be honest, you ain't gonna ever find me complaining about getting a new knife or something along those lines. But that's just me. I mean, I'm just a hillbilly from Lebanon, Missouri. What do I know? Tad Brown says Doc is the one guy I'd love to meet and chat about the good old days.
Some of them were good old days, that's for sure.
And then sometimes we're just old.
Yeah, that's for sure, brother. That is for sure. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. My computer's trying to go to sleep on me.
Yeah, don't let it do that.
No.
What I was looking up is I'd mentioned the Deutsches Ahnenerbe before. Ahnenerbe means ancestral heritage. It was actually a division of the SS. They were originally put together as a think tank for the Nazis to come up with new ways to look for justification for their crazy ass philosophy. It was established by Himmler himself, and it was a division of the SS, and it was devoted to the task of promoting racial doctrines espoused by Hitler and the Nazi Party. The Ahnenerbe was comprised of scholars and scientists from a broad range of academic disciplines and fostered the idea that the German people descended from the Aryan race, which were racially superior to other groups. Hitler became Chancellor of Germany in 1933 and transformed the country into a one-party state governed as a dictatorship under the control. Of course, we all know of that. But the purview of the Ahnenerbe changed. They became more than just the society to try to justify all of these crazy ideas. They were the ones that went out to look for the artifacts. These were the guys that were sent out to look for the Spear of Destiny, the Ark of the Covenant, Thor's hammer. There was expeditions sent out to look for Mjolnir. And in some of these cases, they think they may have succeeded. By the end of the war, most of those records were destroyed, and the Ahnenerbe went underground. A lot of the people that were responsible for the Ahnenerbe were never found. So where did they go? Were they just nameless faces killed in some bombing raid, or did they just go underground and disappear?
Somewhere in Argentina.
Somewhere in Argentina, perhaps.
Who knows?
You see what I did there?
We got a super chat from the boys over at the Strange Road. Thanks, guys.
Mikey Bubs.
What's up, guys? We need to get you guys back on the show.
I sent them a message on or responded to something on Instagram about it, and They said that they would love to make that happen.
Hell yeah. Well, I
I
will. I will
Part 3.
see if I can make that happen.
Part trace.
Part tres. They said absolutely. Well, hell yeah.
All right, then.
Let's do it.
But you know the whole thing with the honor nerva is they were tied in with a lot of the really weird like occult stuff that the Nazis did, and when you couple that with the research facility that that Eric Traub used for the what he did research on ticks was called Reams Island, and it was in the I believe it where was it at the Baltic Sea. It is still there today, although it's been renamed the Friedrich Loeffler Institute. But Traub was the vice president of the Reams Island facility. And when you look at the setup of Reams Island and compare that with Plum Island, they're virtually identical in the way they were designed and the way they were set up and their missions. Strange Road says they've got Jesus coming on tomorrow night. That is awesome, guys. You're going to have a lot of fun with him. He is a very knowledgeable guest and a lot of fun to talk to.
He's a good dude.
D says, night all, I'm going to bed, falling asleep in my chair. Hey, good night, man. Thanks for being here.
Night, Dave.
Night. Yeah, I'm not far behind him.
Yeah.
Gotta get up at 5:30.
Ooh. You're even in Central Time, aren't you, Doc?
Uh-huh. Which is like 4:30 my time. So that sucks very much badly.
Well, boys, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark. We could probably go ahead and start wrapping things up. But, folks, when you look at the Montauk Monster, what initially started out as just one weird thing washing up on the shore has over the years become multiple weird things washing up on the shore, including a couple of unnamed and unreleased bodies, both human. One described as being having multiple holes in their head, as if somebody had done experimentation on their brain. They were holes that were drilled like trepanation. And again, I go back to the feature. They described them as having unusually long fingers. Now that one detail just really jumps out in my head. What are they experimenting on Plum Island? What have they done? What have they released into the public that we don't even know about? Lyme disease may just be the tip of the iceberg, and I do firmly believe that they're responsible for Lyme disease. I think a number of diseases are out there today because they either escaped labs or they were released intentionally. Daniel Hoyle says, y'all in DC are my entertainment for my 12-hour night shift. Well, I'm glad we could help, man. Big shout out to the mods. Thank you guys for everything you guys do. And again, welcome Werewolf 5674 to the moderators. We've got an awesome group of moderators. Hashtag DA Mods Rock. DAX Mods Rock. You guys are the best. Just absolutely love our moderator crew. They do a great job and they keep the chat flowing, and they're good at pointing out questions when we miss one and keeping things from getting out of hand and riding herd on Nightbot when Nightbot goes rogue and off the rails.
Thanks.
But again, before we go, Robbie, tell us a little bit about your channel and where they can find you.
Find us at What's Really Out There on YouTube, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. We kind of try to push to YouTube right now, so that's what most all our episodes are on there anyway. So check us out, youtube.com. What's Really Out There. You can send us email at what's really out there 2022@gmail.com. We kind of kid around with DAX mocking a lot. We a real short version, like 35 to 40 minutes long, sometimes a little bit longer than that. But if you like this show, you'll probably like it. We delve into a lot of these same issue, topics that we talk about here. So come check us out.
How many episodes y'all got out now?
When these next ones that I'm working on right now come out, it'll put us up over 35, I think.
Nice. So you're really getting them out there, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And Doc, one more time, let everybody know about Dark Angel Medical and where to find you and what to do. And
yeah, head over to darkangelmedical.com for all of your trauma kit needs. So we have plenty of all your trauma kits and trauma kit accessories. We have quite a variety of trauma kits and use Cryptid 2.5.
Doc, you cut out real bad, brother.
At Dark Angel,
he's falling asleep.
Medical.com. That'll give you 25% off of your kit. All those kits are just say if
okay, Doc, he's lost in the matrix.
Through if you want to get training, we do in-person training. Just check our training calendar out. We also do online training. Do what?
We lost you, man. You were just like, oh, you're still frozen, but you were like, hey, we lost Doc. Oh, we lost Doc. Daniel Hoyle says, off-topic question, DA. Hey, those are the best kinds. We get off-topic all the time. Who is Gray Eagle based off of from your life? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. He's not really based off any one person, but I've got a friend who's there's a big chunk of him in Will Gray Eagle, but Will's mostly just a made-up character for the most part. There's always a grain of somebody in every character I've got. I think Margolin was really me at 18. I was that little smartass whose mouth got him into more trouble than he could usually handle. It wasn't until I met my wife that I started growing out of that, and she'll tell you I still have it in a large degree. Mike Ace says Nightbot had one last laugh and attacked the shortest member of the panel.
I think that's a lot of times when you say, where in the world did that come from? When you're writing Margolin, that's why things come out and you just
channeling my inner self
because it's coming straight from you and it's stuff that you would have said or did, and that's why, because I can't think of how many times I've heard you say that you were just writing him and like, where did that come from?
Where the hell did that come from? Yeah, that's Margolin's a lot of fun like that. He's kind of my repressed inner child, I guess, because I kind of was that idiot at 18, 19 years old. There's some stories I could tell you that I won't tell on the air. Maybe sometime you all come see me at a convention or something. I'll tell you some of my Margolin moments when I was a young man, but I don't want them going out on the air. They might be used against me in a court of law at some point.
Yeah.
But the statute of limitations probably run out on most of them. I don't think I was guilty of anything that would stick around for 30 years. But yeah, I did do a lot of very, very stupid stuff as a kid. Folks, hopefully, if you guys have not had a chance to check out my books, hopefully you will. I've book number 28 is out now. 29. I'm sorry, book number 29 is out now, and that is the most recent Dark Frontiers first hunt. Featured Declan Kane and the Wild Bunch crew. I'm 45,000 words into the sequel to that. Hopefully have that done in the next couple of weeks so we can get that out and released. Also working on a compilation of short stories that'll probably come right on its heels. Got about 3,000 or 4,000 words into Demons Part 2. So those of you on the Patreon, look for Demons Part 2 to be popping up on the Patreon probably in the next week or so. Also spent about an hour on the phone. Well, about 45 minutes on the phone today with Cam Buckner. working out some details. So I've got several Dixie Cryptids, well, Steve Lilly crossover stories with mine that probably coming up in the very near future. And he's also in one of his future Steve Lilly stories that's going to be on his channel. Some of the boys from the Wild Hunt are going to show up in that. And if you haven't listened to the most recent one that he released, Clark and a few of the others show up in the Steve Lilly story, which I thought was pretty awesome. It's a really cool story. But if you go to daroberts.net, you can check out all of my currently available titles, and I hope you guys will check those out. And if you want to help shape the future of the DA verse, you could join the Patreon community, and that's at patreon.com/DARobertsAuthor. You can get advanced screenings of book covers, read short stories that are currently not available anywhere else, as well as get advanced views and input on some of the novels that are being written as well. So hopefully, if you guys are not members of the Patreon community, you'll check that out, because as we speak, there's at least 3 or 4 short stories available over there that are not in print anywhere. So I hope you guys will check that out as well. We will see you guys this coming Saturday night.
Real quick, Doc said to tell everybody sorry he got kicked off or booted off or lost the internet. Said tell everybody good night. And see you next time.
Poor Doc. He's down there where they gotta bring in the dog sled, bring in the internet by Pony Express.
Yeah, he just had a little connection issue.
He had some connectile dysfunction. Sam A says, love your books. The latest is the best in my opinion. Looking forward to more from Dex. That's coming up. Robbie's been reading it as I've been getting it done. What do you think of it, man?
I loved the first one of this, but the second one I think is going to blow it out of the water.
That's awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You really set the stage in the first one, and just the dynamic between all the characters and how you're able to get that in and still get the story in and still evolve these characters and build these characters. It's amazing.
Thanks, brother.
And you talk about a curveball in the story that you will not see coming.
Well, I like to throw those. I do like to throw curveball.
I was like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" I thought we were over here taking care of this, but now we're over here taking care of this. And how in the world did Toombs, you know what I'm talking about.
Toshi the Wolf says, can't wait for your next books, DA. They got me hooked, and I can't stop reading them and telling friends and family about them. Hey, thank you so much. Word of mouth is the best advertisement a writer can get. I mean, you can watch video clips and see posted reviews until the cows come home. But 9 times out of 10, if somebody says, "Hey, I just read a book and I really liked it. I think you'd like it too," you're going to take somebody you know's opinion over anything you read online. So word of mouth is the best advertisement I can get.
Steve, our newest member of What's Really Out There, he was like, "All right, which one do I need to read?" And me and Johnny and Norm we were like disagreeing on which one he should read first, which he actually went with my suggestion and read Lakeview Man first. So, and he said, I couldn't put it down. I read it in a day. So I knew him being law enforcement. I knew he would really appreciate Lakeview Man. I said, read that one first.
I'm glad he liked it. I really am.
He did.
Daniel Hull says, when will y'all do another live like the other night where you have no topic? Had an amazing time listening to y'all. Y'all roasting Doc. We might do that May 31st. We might do another just no topic, getting on and talking, because that's going to be me celebrating my birthday, because it'll be at midnight that night anyway. I was born at like 3:00 in the morning, so May 31st is officially the night before my birthday. So we'll probably do an unscripted, off the rails another show. And again, that night we're going to give away a walk-on roll in a book. So hopefully you guys will all be there. You guys will be paying attention, staying active in the chat, because somebody maybe even a couple of somebody. I haven't decided. Might get a character appearance in a book.
And I'm gonna tell you something, folks. A lot of people will be like, "Well, how?" I had somebody put this in perspective for me because it was an honor to be a character. Actually, I guess really two characters if you want to get down to brass tacks about it. But somebody was like, "No, you don't even realize that you're immortalized. That's there. That as long as that book is in print, that character is there. So that's really something that's goes beyond just a normal. Oh, hey, here you have this gift card to wherever or something like. I mean that's something that you can really tell people that you're part of, and you are a character in this 29 plus book series. To me, that means something, and I think that's if you got a chance to win something like that, it should be something that you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. To me, it's like being a character in a movie.
I think we'll probably do at least two. I think that'll be a lot of fun. We'll do maybe one an hour that we're on. So if we end up going more than 2 hours, who knows? We might do a third. So tune in for the May 31st show where we'll be giving away a couple of rolls in the books. That'll be me celebrating my birthday, and we'll do a couple of those giveaways where you could become a character. Who knows? It might even be a reoccurring role. It's happened before. You got anything else to add, man?
Well, like I said, we need to get with Mikey and Bubs and have a part 3 to that one. That was a good. I think that's.
I'm reaching out to them very soon. Maybe tonight or tomorrow.
Yep, and we might kind of on and off the topic tonight, but I think tonight was a pretty good show. I mean, even the off-topic parts of it, we still,
we're kind of on topic.
Yeah, there was a lot of good information there tonight, I think.
Well, yeah, it's a very, very bizarre story. The Montauk Monster, while other people think it's tongue-in-cheek, the more you dig, the weirder that story gets.
Yeah, and I mean, and everything that's connected to it. I mean, really, honestly, when you start digging into that, the whole story is really off-topic from everything because there's nothing that's really related. It's not like it's one thing is just specifically this one little thing that washed up on the shore. You got that. You got the two bodies. You got Plum Island. You got. I mean, it's not like when you're talking about the Honey Island swamp monster and you got one specific type of thing or one specific type of cryptid. You got, like, to quote my little buddy, a plethora of creatures that that are attached to this. So, I think it's just one of those things that we could probably do a couple of shows off of it and still not exhaust the source.
Meg asked me if I could address the patches. I don't have any of the patches for sale right at the moment. It's something that's hopefully coming soon. We've primarily been doing the patches as exclusives for conventions. Right now, I've discovered with the giveaways that we did for the 5,000 viewers, I don't have very many of the patches left. I've just got a handful. I've got enough to do the giveaways and keep a few for myself. But we are just about out of the patches. Doc is setting it up where I'm going to get some more ordered. As the guy that owns the company is a buddy of Doc's. But right at the moment, we don't have any of the patches for available online, but we should have them hopefully soon. We're going to be doing a couple of different types of patches. I plan on even doing a DAX Machina patch with the hashtag DAX Machination on it. So we've got some other patches in the works. But at the moment, right now, the Team Odin patches. I just don't have very many of them left. Like you said, I got enough to cover the giveaways that we did the other night, but I'm about out of these. So we got to get some more of those ordered in. They're a little pricey, so it's a little bit of an initial chunk in the ass to lay out to get some of them ordered in. 'Cause, believe it or not, I don't make a whole lot of money at this. Uh, Writing books is I love it. I truly do. It's what I think I was born to do. But I'm not exactly making Stephen King money. In fact, if Stephen King woke up with my numbers, he'd probably shoot himself. But uh, it's it's an uphill process. It's getting better. It's far better than it was 10 years ago, but it's still before I could really say that I'm doing very well. I've got a ways to go. I would like to be hitting Larry Correa numbers in 5 to 10 years. But it's a lot of work to get there, and you've got to maintain it. You've got to keep books coming out. So at the moment, I don't have the financial wherewithal to be able to just go, I'm going to buy 1,000 of these patches or 1,000 of these patches and just have them on stock. I can only buy, a box at a time. So hopefully we'll be getting more of those in. I will be letting people know as soon as I have more of those patches in, where we can hopefully start putting them up on the website. But those are coming in the near future. I got to do a little bit at a time. So I will again. I'll let you all know when I've got the patches ready to be sold.
And also, you mentioned conferences and shows and things like that. Texas, September 1st through the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come out and see us at the Paranormal
Second annual Dogman Paranormal Roundtable, second annual Dogman Conference.
Come out and see us. I believe VIP tickets are still on sale.
I believe they are. There's still quite a few of the VIPs available, and all of us guys from here at DAX Machina will be on hand to shake babies and kiss hands, as they say.
Yep.
And we'll be doing a presentation up on the main stage, and I'll be there with a hopefully a trailer load of books to sell and a bunch of patches. So we're gonna get those ordered and have those in soon.
Yep. And Doc's gonna have some of his
med kits and med kit accessories.
Yep. Med kits and med kit accessories. And I'm gonna have some stuff from Lone Wolf Customs. I think he said he's gonna get us all table right there together, right?
Yeah.
So y'all come say hi if you're in Texas or Fort Worth. I believe is the close.
Yeah.
White Settlement, but I believe that's right there at Fort Worth.
It's like 8 minutes from downtown Fort Worth, so it's like a suburb of Fort Worth.
Yep.
Get your tickets. Come see us. I mean, it's going to be a good time.
Come up and say hey. Say all the crazy.
Absolutely.
DX.
Come hang out and swap stories and tell us about your cryptid encounters and we'd love to hear about them. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up in the near future. This Saturday's show, Noah and I are planning on going down to Smiddle Cave on Friday to do a lot of filming. So we're going to talk about Smiddle Cave and possible cryptid involvement, and hopefully have some really good footage for you guys. So we're going to go down on Friday. Noah and I are heading down there Friday morning to do some footage, and I'm going to take my drone and see if I can get it into the cave itself, assuming we don't get ran out of there. But we're going to see what kind of footage we can get, and maybe I can talk to some guys from the Missouri Department of Conservation and see if I can get somebody to go on the record. But that's the stuff we got coming up for you, and we hope you guys will join us. And hope you guys had a good time. I know we did, and I believe that's pretty much all that's our Ozarks Ozarks howdy, our Ozarks good night.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate you guys being here with us. And a big shout out and thanks to everybody that helped make our 5,000 subscribers possible. And I hope you'll check out all my books over at daroberts.net, or maybe be a member over at the Patreon community at patreon.com/darobertsauthor. And again, shout out to the mods. We get the best mods in the business. The AX mods rock. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Thank you for joining us. Catch us again Wednesdays and Saturdays on DAX Machina. A special thanks to all our channel members and Patreon supporters. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Catch us again Wednesdays and Saturdays on DAX Machina. A special thanks to all our channel members and Patreon supporters. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.